Welcome back to the Shine Within podcast. Becca, a seasoned physical wellness and mindset coach from Knoxville, Tennessee, combines her passion for fitness and nutrition with empowering women and mothers. At 42, Becca, a dedicated wife of 16 years and mother to four daughters, including 10-year-old with Down syndrome and eight-year-old triplets, leads a dynamic life. Her journey of overcoming a diet mentality and embracing body positivity has shaped her coaching philosophy. Becca is committed to helping women break free from feeling stuck, guiding them towards a confident, healthy lifestyle that harmoniously fits their unique circumstances. Wow. Thank you so much, Becca, for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I'm really pumped just to have this conversation and just to put it out there to your audience. I hope this will bring some value and just some simple strategies that women can really just take in and begin to implement to make their life more simple.
Right. Don't we all need that in our lives? A little bit more simplicity, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
How has your personal journey actually influenced you to the way you coach and motivate others in their health and fitness goals?
Oh, that's a great question. So just brief history on my story. I battled with yo-yo dieting and mega restriction. I eliminated food groups and I tried to eliminate a lot of foods, right? It didn't work, but I cut my calories. I had a very toxic and unhealthy relationship with food. Not only like physical habits, but also just how I started to feel about my body and body shame. And I just got in a really unhealthy cycle. And it took me 15 years really to break free of it. Through that journey, honestly, it wasn't, I wish I could claim that I just woke up one day and saw the light and realized, that I needed to love myself and I, deserved and I was worthy, but I didn't. I went through an infertility journey. And it took me getting pregnant and literally having a baby in my body to really go, okay, I cannot abuse food this way or use food like this in my life anymore. It definitely wasn't healthy for me, but it was like I knew that it wasn't going to work, just being pregnant. And then I found out at 20 weeks I was having a girl. Now I have four girls. Ha ha, jokes on me. But to me, I struggled with food. So not even just physically, but emotionally and mentally. And it was really, really painful in my life. And I did not want to pass that along to my girls. I didn't want them to hear me body shame or be self-conscious or work out and eat the right things because I was trying to be skinny or fit in a pair of jeans or, I obviously I want to teach them healthy habits and how to love healthy food and the right things and move their body. I literally can't keep them still. So, so far I'm succeeding on that. But I just wanted them to have a different mindset, a different approach and relationship with food and their body. And so, really, with my clients now, what a great question. With my clients now, it's not just about, yes, I'm going to help them eat the right foods and, move their body the right way to get fit, to be healthy, to get back to feeling beautiful and confident and sexy in their own skin. It's important. But I'm also really working on the mindset. I'm really helping women transition out of the yo-yo diet, lose 20 pounds for a beach vacation, for a holiday, whatever it is, and really think more lasting lifestyle. And I really help women create. It's funny, there's a lot of pain associated with losing weight and because it's all about the things we can't have, the things we're not going to get to do. Like, that's why it takes us so long to finally commit to like, okay, I'm starting Monday, right? Okay, I'm going on a diet. And I'm not pointing fingers because I've literally done it. I did it for 15 years straight, but it literally never worked for me. And you guys know, you might make some progress. You might put a couple months together. You might lose 20 pounds, which actually reinforces the negative habits in the yo-yo dieting, right? Because you do see some progress. So you don't think it's the diet that is messing up. You think it's you. You think you're too weak.
Mhm.
You think you're not disciplined enough. You think something's wrong with your body, right? But it's really like you can't run on willpower and restriction 365 days a year. You just can't. Like, we're not built like that. And so I really help these women learn to create a lifestyle that aligns with their life, with their schedule, with their preferences, how they like to move their body, what kind of food they like. And obviously we might sub some ingredients or, put some new things in that they've never thought. A lot of times people are just bored and they've just been doing the same thing over and over and they don't know what else to do. And so I really step in, I help them create solutions, but I don't give menus and I don't like, this is what I want you to eat for 8 weeks, right? Because if I did that, you're going to set it and forget it. And you might be able to have the willpower for 8 weeks, but when you're done with the menu, you're still not going to know how to navigate food at a restaurant, at a ballpark, on a date night, at a cabin with your husband. Like, we empower and teach them how to navigate food every single day of their life. And we really practice the skill of balance.
Wow. Yes.
Does that help?
Oh, yeah. So a little backstory about myself. I used to be a weight loss consultant and for Jenny Craig, because, okay, this is what happened. Okay. In high school, I was active. I was in basketball, I was an athletic person, but I stopped playing and then met a boyfriend, and was it my senior year when we were partying and everything. And then he was buying me all this junk food, like taking me out. We're the same age. And I would eat, 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 eat. And it wasn't one time where my mom's friend came over and he was like, you know what? Just sit down here. Let's have like a little meeting. You're really putting on a lot of weight. And I didn't even pay attention. I had no awareness of it whatsoever. I thought I still looked good. I don't know what was going on with me, but then I was looking at photos and I'm like, oh my goodness. So my mom, what she did is she put me on Jenny Craig. And she
Uh-huh.
put me on Jenny Craig, and I actually lost a lot of weight fast. However, and I loved it. This was like the new thing, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig. There's like a little rivalry right there. But
Yeah.
and then I loved it so much that I started working for the company. But check this out. I noticed a lot of times that women, because we give out the menus, but the food is provided, not the healthiest food, obviously, is preservatives. But thinking about it, I don't work there. It's been a long time, so I can say these things and whatever. I think the company no longer exists anymore. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if they're still around. Yeah.
I
Okay.
know, right? And so I remember like clients would just be repeat clients. They would just come back, come back, come back, yo. And so it's like, even though we had a maintenance program trying to teach them, they still didn't know what to do or had the proper tools. And plus, I mean, they're used to putting in the microwave. Microwave food is not good for you. We need to like grow our food
Oh,
and
and like
get
three
creative.
times a day, right? It's like, what do you do
Yes.
if a girlfriend calls you and says, like, hey, I want to go to lunch? You're like, it's like panic mode because you're like, oh my God, how
Yes.
do I microwave it before? And I'm like, the thing around that, and I used to do that. I used to go out with my friends and I'd be like, I'm not going to eat. I'm going to eat before I go, or I would pack my little chicken. And, it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. I think back to it now. And I'm like, it was pure torture. And I couldn't be present in the moment because I was looking at everybody's food like, oh my gosh, I want that, but I don't want that. I'm just this constant just track just in my mind. And so it really was all consuming. Now I talk about it a lot and I'm like, oh my gosh, like if I thought that I had to go back, and relive that. And so literally my mission and my passion, I go, the only positive thing that can come out of that is one, I really learned lifestyle balance. I can model that for my family and other people that are close to me, but that I can be a shortcut to other women and moms. Because, if you don't really have a food thing and you haven't struggled with the food thing, and I have a sister, she's super healthy, even if she gained 5 or 10 pounds, she never cared. Like, she was just like, dieting's literally the worst thing you could do, and I was like nervous for her, I was like, oh, but what I was doing was not working. And it's like you feel so bad because these women, they work so hard. They're in the gym, they're doing the classes, they're, what I'm saying? And most of the time they're trying to eat the right things. And what you find is, they have an off week or they go on vacation or they do a date night or something spontaneous, or heaven forbid, we get tired and we're normal humans and don't want to eat out of our microwavable, container. And we order pizza for the kids and we eat it. And then we feel guilty. And then we tack on a weekend. And then it's funny, we're coming off Thanksgiving and people are like, the holidays. And I'm like, y'all, it's not Thanksgiving. Like, go enjoy Thanksgiving with your family. We're going to move our body. We're going to overhydrate. We're going to write. We've got the things. But it's the Friday and the Saturday and the Sunday. And then people are waving the white flag until Christmas and New Year's, right? So I'm like, we give holidays a bad rap. I'm like, it's not actually the one day, but it's people go and they don't know the balance. And again, I'm not pointing fingers. It took me 15 years to overcome it. And really, so what we're teaching are solutions, right? It's becoming more aware. Just like you said, you're like, I had no awareness of what was happening. A lot of times people aren't always aware of how they use food in their life or what the triggers are, right? Is it fighting with your husband? For me, I can yell at one of my kids. I can be stressed out about something else or tired and yell at one of my kids. And I mean, I don't go to my pantry and start eating, but it's definitely, right? I mean, I probably would have. I used to. It is a trigger for me. And so it's like, I do these workshops and I sit with these group of women and it's really cool because they all have a different way, whether it's like, hey, I'm super bored and like food's exciting. I want to make something fun. Or it's like, hey, I'm exhausted. And at night, I want to sit down with my husband and eat something that tastes really good and watch a show. Or I want to celebrate with my kids, or I'm sad in my marriage and I feel alone. So I eat, food is literally the most socially acceptable drug on the planet, right?
Yeah.
And so, we are so used to like, oh, we celebrate with food and drinks. We're sad with food and drinks. We, all the things. And so we're just not built. Like, the day that I found out I was pregnant, I was finally like, I have to eat for my kid. I'm not going to eat fake food. No more light, no more fat free, no more, I'm not perfect. I definitely eat some preservatives here, but no more fake stuff. Like if I'm going to eat it, I eat the real thing. And it literally changed my life. Like, people were saying, this was the diet culture. Again, this was 20 years ago. So this wasn't the Jenny Craig and the Weight Watchers. And nobody knew anything outside of a diet. If you said the word lifestyle, people were like, you're crazy. You've never been 5 pounds overweight. You don't know what you're talking about, right? Like I felt like you can't identify with me is what I felt like. But it was really in shifting the mindset of fueling my body out of love and respect because I deserve it. Then, oh my God, eat broccoli so you can, feel comfortable on a boat in a bikini, right? I mean, it was a different mindset and I got a completely different result. I found that I wasn't wanting to binge eat Oreos or like pizza. I wasn't craving all of these foods because I hadn't made a laundry list of things that were off limit, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And it reminded me also talking about Jenny Craig, when I had a client, he was like, so I have to disappear, I guess, I don't have no social life anymore because I'm on this diet. So it reminded me like, we don't need to get rid of you have to disappear for a while. How sad, right? I was just like,
but that's heartbreaking. And like you think about it, you go, seriously, people that really like want to lose the weight and can't figure out, that's also hard. It's like they do all the hard stuff and give away their social lives, do all this stuff, right? To lose the weight, they lose the weight and then they're coming back. And that is devastating. It's not that they're not trying. It's not, and they can't figure out like, what am I doing it wrong, right? It becomes so personal. It becomes so personal. And people will say, well, Becca, I lost 30 pounds doing and I'm like, well, that's amazing. Is that still what you do? And they're like, oh my God, no, like I couldn't do it in travel. It was a certain food every day. Like, and I'm like, that's not lifestyle because you were dreading it. You were counting the days until you could be finished with it,
Right.
And so when I coach my clients, it's all about mindset. It's the diet mindset. You have the best of intentions, right? You want to change, you want to get healthy. You're doing it for all the right reasons, but you're setting yourself up for the short-term goal. In 30 days, when I lose 30 pounds, when I go to the beach. And then when we go to the beach, we stop doing all of the habits that we did to get us where we go, right? We feel great in a bikini. We drink a couple drinks. We go out to a couple food places and we're back where we started. And we're like, what happened? What is wrong with me? And so really it tanks our self-belief. It tanks our confidence. We start, not loving our bodies and being really hard on ourselves instead of, finding the good things and seeing another way, training and fueling out of love rather than dislike. And that is something that took me a really, really long time to get.
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. It was all about diets because we had to go somewhere. We were traveling soon. We're going to be taking family photos, so we had to like diet, diet. But it is about the lifestyle. And it's just the little things you can change and start making them, creating little habits, I guess. And then whether that's, going for a walk in the morning when you never used to before, or maybe just eating maybe more greens in the day when you normally don't if you're hungrier. I don't know. There's little things that you can do here and there. But you are a mother of 4 girls. Wow, that must be exciting. I actually have all boys. I don't have any girls. I have 4 nieces, but from 2 separate brothers. And
Right.
but I don't have any girls. So I'm sure it gets very busy in the household. And that's so awesome that you are like the role model, because many girls, especially including myself growing up, I remember I was even sharing this with you. I was comparing myself to Cindy Crawford in the 90s. And here I was, what, fourth grade, fifth grade? The stuff that they have
That's
on
hard,
TV.
and like that was, I mean, yeah, she has a beautiful body, don't get me wrong, but that's literally like her job was to like keep that body, like, you know what I mean? And I'm sure if she talked to you and she was on here, she would say, you have no idea what I did to keep that physique, right?
Right.
So I just, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
totally. And so it's like the whole comparison thing too. And so I'm so happy that you're helping your girls out by being the role model. And then they're gonna look up to you like, oh, mom's awesome. Yeah. So
yeah,
any
and I'll tell
yeah.
you, it really is. Some of the women also that I've coached, and we're talking about it, and I go, you have no idea, like the transformation that they're making. What's so cool is, so I was on a call with my client last week, and she said, just to think, like the goal was to lose 20 pounds.
Mm,
Like I had no idea, like so much more was going to come from this, And so
yeah.
she's not even, yes, she's getting fit. Yes, she's doing her circuits and she's eating right. Listen, we don't even talk about food anymore. That's how great it is. I mean, we've been 90, we like, she's on it. She vacations. She came back from Thanksgiving down a pound, after
Mm,
like traveling. You know what I'm saying? So that's amazing. But the more amazing part is how much self belief and how much impact has, come from that to go into her business, into her side hustle, into her marriage, and how she parents and how she's leading her mom and her sister. And just
mm,
like tomorrow morning, we're going to a 5:30 class. She's like, Becca, I've literally never gotten up at 5:30 to do a workout. And I'm like, tomorrow's the day, baby. And she's excited about it. And so, yes, it's great to get in shape. Yes, it's great to be healthy and feel great and confident. Like you deserve that. We deserve that.
mhm,
However, what is so much cooler is to watch it change so many other areas in your life because of the confidence, because of the belief, because you go, oh my God, I never thought I could do that. I did it. What's next?
mhm.
And that's really what I love to see. I love to see that power come through and really just the belief in them go, oh my gosh. Like that is the coolest part of what I do, honestly.
Right. Yes, I agree. Now, I was going to say that many moms, they actually struggle with putting themselves as a priority with their own
Yes.
needs. What kind of advice would you, what would you tell them if they want to overcome these barriers?
Yeah, I would say in order to continuously serve your family, because as women and moms, I mean, it's always about everybody else before yourself. It never stops. Like it's a 24-hour job, whether you're just a stay-at-home mom or whether you're working outside the home and then coming home to be, a mom to taking care of the house and the kids and the chores and the schedules and the sports. Like it's never ending. And what I would say is if you are not taking care of yourself, first, it's only going to last for a certain amount of time. Like you will have a breaking point. You just will. And, maybe you're not going to like have to go somewhere and be in, but you're going to start snapping. You're going to start, you are going to see some symptoms in ways that you wouldn't normally act or you wouldn't normally feel. And, I think it's so important. Like I just think about my girls, 15 years from now, and I go, what would I want them to do for themselves? Like looking in, maybe they have kids, maybe they don't, I don't know. But I'm like, what kind of life would I want to see my girls living? Do I want them like working to the bone? Not, I mean, yeah, hard workers, right? but like not feeling like they deserve to take time for themselves
Yeah.
to, I mean, come on, like that's ridiculous. And,
Right.
we do that because we battle with perfection. We battle with getting
Yes.
all the things done. And we're like, oh my God, is the house clean? Is it, because that, that tells me whether I'm a good mom or not. And it's crazy. It really is. And I can say that. And then tomorrow I'll be, battling with getting my Christmas decorations put away and right.
Yeah, the
I mean,
Christmas decorations are coming up pretty soon. That's right. We're in December.
oh my gosh. So I would say if you are not prioritizing your health or something that you love to do that re-energizes you, like it's only going to be a matter of time.
Right.
Something's going to slide. You can't keep up the consistent pace. You can't fuel everyone else and not, feed yourself. So, and that's why I'm
Yeah.
an early morning, right? A lot of people are like, oh, I'm just like, you have this many people, you don't know who's going to school, who's sick, who's calling you from school, right? Like things happen. And so I do at least 4 days a week. I'm up early and it's not just to get strong. Yes, I love to work out. I love to be strong. I want a strong body, but it is like my brain, right? It's like
Yes, the brain.
time. It physiologically changes my body. It changes my mood. I mean, I do not jump out of bed every day like, oh my God, I can't wait to go. Some mornings I do, right? And
Yeah.
then other mornings I'm like, mad, I have to go start my car and get in, I'm just like, and then I get there and I go, yes, like, yes. And I can come home and wake my girls up and I'm literally a totally different person.
Yeah.
And so they get to see that, you know what I mean? And I mean, some days they're like, why are you not, coming in the back door, right? Like, why are
Right.
you still okay. Like I need to sleep today, so it's good. They hold me accountable.
Yeah.
And it
Oh, it's
really,
like
it's just,
they're your
it's
support system.
me. Yes, it's me going like, I deserve this time. I need this time. I'm worthy of this time. And I'm telling you, when you get up and it's still dark, there's something about feeling disciplined and like you're doing something that not the whole world is doing, right? Like
Right, right.
there's something there with that. There is for me at least.
Can you hold on 1 second? I'm so sorry. I think it's my child. He's knocking on the door right here. Hold on.
Good. Take your time.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're good.
He's like,
I love
oh, I
your
can,
lights and
oh, my
I
little
love your
background, oh, my
lights.
virtual background.
So awesome. I love it.
That's like my brand. It's like my branding is all like neon and I don't know, because I loved going out before and I was all about, yeah, I used to be an ex-professional drink. I was a professional drinker in my past life, and so I loved all the nightlife, but I still loved it. I like minus the drink. I don't go out anymore though, to be honest with you. I just enjoy my
Oh, no.
hiking time.
Mine's like very few and far between. I think we went out to a comedy thing on Friday. Like I think we were home by like 9:30 or something. I'm just like, yeah. So
I
it'll,
know I don't go out anymore, but when I do, it's like, oh, I want to go home and go sleep. I don't want to. Yes. And so what are some, we were talking about waking up at 5 a.m. Like I was a 5 a.m.er as well. And early in my recovery, I was actually going to Orange Theory Fitness and I felt
yeah.
so fantastic. Wait, I literally I would wake up, like set my alarm 3:45, okay, in the morning and then go get there. So I wanted like my station number one, right? Because I wanted to be by everything where I don't have to like travel everywhere because they have like it's like you go to the whirlwind to
Yeah.
then the whole treadmill to like the weights. And so
Yes.
what happened is I would literally wait there and then start at 5 o'clock and then feel so much better. And that was my thing in recovery was working out. That was the thing that got me like excited. I'm like, yeah, working out because once your body feels good and once you start feeling good, you'll notice that you'll start eating better automatically. It just
Right.
happens all of a sudden. You're like, oh,
Does
that
it, like,
salad looks
I mean,
better. Yeah.
it really just makes you make better decisions, and you feel strong, you feel energized, you feel disciplined, like you're taking the time for yourself. It is. And, I even tell moms, I'm like, one of my weekend things, because this will be no surprise to you, but, people can do like, good Monday through Friday, the weekend with, kids sports and different stuff. Like people are like, why can't I make it through the weekend? Why do I want the crap? Why do I? And so I tell people, I'm like, you don't have to do a full workout, but I want you to go move your body for 10 to 12 minutes. It can be a walk with your kids, a walk with your dog. It can be jumping jacks. I'll send my clients, a 7 to 12 minute full body circuit. I do it myself. And I just was telling somebody today, like, look, on Saturdays, it's crazy around here. Like, I don't want to go do it either. I'm like, sometimes I'm like in panties and a sports bra. You know what? I'm like
Yeah, yeah.
drinking coffee at the same time. But after I do it, I feel totally different. And then I want to drink my water and I want to have my shake instead of, I don't know, whatever else. I'm just going to pick up and just eat because I'm tired and I'm overwhelmed and I've got everybody to take care of, right? It's a
Right.
total reset. And so I just go, I think people think you have to live in the gym. You have to do all this cardio. You have to, and like I've been working out my whole life. So you can tell, I mean, I do, I have muscles, I have whatever, but people will be like, what do you do? And I'm just like, if I told you what I did, you wouldn't believe me. Like, like I get it. I mean, there's some days that I'm only doing a 12 to 15-minute circuit, right?
Mhm.
But it's the consistency, it's building the muscle of consistency, and it's learning the balance of learning to enjoy guilt-free, shame-free, and then jumping right back in, right? Not starting over, not starting and stopping, but like, hey, tomorrow I'm going to be super intentional about, eating the foods that fuel my body, that make me feel good. I'm going to be intentional about getting 3 gym sessions in this week, whatever it is, but changing the language, no more diet language, no more flex meal, cheat meal, because people are like,
Cheat
so
meal,
how,
yeah.
they're like, how often, do we have a flex meal? I'm like, well, I just like, because what would I do? I'd be like, well, that's on Friday. And all week I would be waiting and planning like this huge meal I was going to have. And I felt like crap. And then the next day I wanted to eat like crap. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's really like changing the language, changing the mind. And it's like, people don't stay on a diet because they don't enjoy doing what they're doing. They're like, oh my God, am I down 30 pounds? And then they go eat pizza, right? It's like, but they're
Yeah.
just so ready to be normal, and go and eat out with friends and enjoy, and it's a process. It is practice, because somebody coming, I mean, you've come from diet as well. Like you literally have to retrain,
Mhm.
on like, oh my God, I'm going to be okay. Like the chips and salsa I just ate are not literally going to make me gain 5 pounds. Like, you have to really start using some common sense, and you have to build the skills of really kind of coaching yourself out of that and tell, like, that's a story. That's a fear. That's, and really just, the more that they do it, the more that they practice, the more that we create solutions that they love,
Mhm.
they go, oh my God, why didn't I think of this 10 years ago? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
this is easier. I didn't think it would be this easy, so I think the bottom line is really believing that the balance and the foods that you love, and that you can have the body of your dreams and not give up every single thing that you love. I think people struggle to believe the two can coexist and are possible.
But they can exist, right? They can.
Girl, listen, I want people to go and look at like Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Like literally all I'm posting right now are before and afters.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's not that my before pictures are awful, right? I'm probably 25, maybe 30 pounds heavier than now, but they're not god awful. And, and somebody was like, that's not bad. I was like, no, no, no. It's not that the picture is terrible. My physique is night and day different now, but it's not that the picture is like, I'm not 400 pounds. It's not this like, but here's what it is. I ate 1,000 calories. I worked out 2 hours a day. I couldn't go to a restaurant and carry on a conversation without asking the cook 50 times if he was going to put sauce on my chicken. You know,
Mm.
I was binge eating. I was like every second of my life, I was going to bed and in the middle of my prayer, I'm counting macros, right? Like it was crazy. And I still didn't have the body that I was wanting. I could not keep it. I could not sustain the progress. And so that's what I try and show in those pictures. Like, yeah, it's not awful. What's 25 pounds, right? But it's like my life was a freaking nightmare. It
Mm-hmm.
just, I didn't enjoy it. And I go now, like, I had a margarita in a hot tub with my best friend like 3 nights ago, right? Enjoyed every
Yeah.
minute of it, never thought twice about it. And that's living. I can go and have fun and then come eat grilled chicken and a protein shake and not think twice about it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that is freedom to me. And I just love myself. I love myself now, or in 5 pounds, I go, okay, like enough of the Sour Patch Kids, get intentional, right? I mean, everybody's going to have their thing, and that's okay. But I don't come crumbling down, in this body shaming spiral. So that,
Yeah. Yes. I would remind me, I do have some Sour Patch Kids downstairs, I think, from the kids that had them. I'm like, but I'm trying to like get rid of the sugar. It's like, no sugar, you guys. You guys are no sugar because I'm really doing like I'm looking at the foods and I'm just like, I don't trust it. And my goal
oh,
is
no,
to,
I mean, I'm not recommending Sour Patch Kids. I'm just going to go on a thing. My favorite thing, like if I'm, in, well, even now I still love it, but I love candy. I don't have it often. I didn't have it on Halloween. I did, but like every now and then I'm like, I want candy. And, but before it would be like, I could eat two, like literally I would eat two or three, cause I'd go, oh my God, I feel bad for eating that. Well, I might as well get it all out of the way before I start over tomorrow and never have it again. Right. Like I was going to go my whole life without eating another piece of candy. I mean, it's just like, what was I thinking? It's like, you're 15, you're like, you haven't done it yet. Like, what?
yeah.
And so anyway, so I just go, but now I go like, I have a handful of sour Skittles or 5 Sour Patch Kids, and that's all I need, right? That's all I want. And so that's it. I never, if somebody had said, if you just eat 5, you won't, I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, you don't know me. I was very all or nothing, right? But it was because I had told myself I could never have it again. And it just did something to me. It psychologically, it just did something to me where I couldn't find the balance and I couldn't get enough. And really just eating food and being okay with it. I mean, my body responded. I would have never believed it. But I think I was actually fueling it, right? I mean, God literally designed food, gave us food
Yeah.
so we would have energy, and so we would be strong, and so we could make babies, and right, and nurse and all these things. And I'm like, I don't think it's a coincidence that then I went 7 years later to go have kids. I had polycystic ovarian syndrome. I didn't have any periods. I didn't ovulate. I walked through infertility journey. So many hormonal issues right after, 10 years of mega restriction and abusing my body, you know?
Yeah, you're such an inspiration because it's amazing to see women, go from like these fad diets and doing all of like counting calories and everything just to be like, you know what, I have such a healthy relationship with food now. I don't even have that mentality anymore. Now, what is some verbiage women can actually start talking to themselves? Like what dialogue should they be saying when it comes to their relationship with food?
Yeah, with my clients, I really work on anything around lifestyle, right? Like I've tried to find a better word than lifestyle because I'm kind of like, oh, I haven't really come up with one that I think that I love, but really just lasting lifestyle. Like the first thing we do when people coach with me is like, we get a vision. Like,
Mhm.
what's your vision? Like, what do you want? What do you want? It's not obviously, usually they have a like, I want to lose 20 pounds or I want to, but it's like, no, I want to know, like, what do you want to feel like when you wake up? Like, what do you want to feel like when you put your workout clothes on? Like, what do you want to wear to the gym? What do you want to see when you're in the mirror? Like, what do you want to be able to do with your kids? I had one that was like, I've always dreamed of doing a marathon at Disney. I'm like,
Mm.
great, let's freaking do it. Like, what's your vision? What kind of I mean, is it skinny jeans you want to wear instead of leggings? Like, and most women have a thing like, I'd really like to wear, but I don't, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Like, what are you romanticizing about? What would you, and so we get really clear on the vision. And it's not just like a pound or whatever. It's like, how do you want to feel when your husband walks in on you in the shower? Are you freaking out? Or do you want to like invite him in because you feel comfortable about your body. Like this stuff affects relationships. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it just does. It affects your self-esteem. And then I take out any kind of diet language. There's no starting over. It's really just like, hey, we're going to get focused. We're going to get intentional. There's no cheat days. And I go, because what's the message you're sending? It's that you have to be perfect every other day, right? Like I'm cheating, I'm messing up today. It's like, no, you're going to enjoy. I can't wait to go enjoy my favorite restaurant, my favorite meal with my husband. I
Yeah.
can't wait to go eat with my girlfriends. Like, I can't wait for this girls' night. I can't wait to have Mexican food with my kids. Right. So it's just, I mean, it's that kind of stuff that was the biggest deal to me. Just anything related to diet, to short term, any kind of body shaming. I mean, look, I'm not about like, hey, you need to lose 20 pounds. You're like, oh my God, I have abs, right? Like, I don't really think lying to ourselves, but I mean, you can appreciate your body like right now, and you can be committed to like, hey, I'm going to fuel my body out of love and respect because of what it does for me every single day,
Mm-hmm.
to get strong, not out of like, oh my God, I hate this and my legs, because that's what I used to do. I had a real big leg thing. I literally didn't wear shorts for probably 10 years in the summer. Like not one time. I would not show my legs. I heard somebody say on a podcast, these are not my words. I can't remember his name, but it was so powerful. He said, you will never heal a body you hate.
Mm. I love that. Yeah. It's so true.
So true. Because you're just working against each other, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're just working against each other. And so I would really just start speaking love. For me, like I'm a believer. I pray. I really, ask the Lord to just help me love myself, help me accept myself. Yes, I want to be my best self. I'm not going to use it as an excuse to not change and make some different changes in my life and step up my game and still work out and eat well, right? You've got to do those things. But I also just ask him in the times where I wasn't perfect, or I said, hey, I'm not going to eat a basket of chips and Mexican, and I did it anyway, right? To just go like one day, one meal, 1 week is not going to make you or break you. Like your long term. Think
Mm-hmm.
about Thanksgiving in the scheme of 365 days. You're like, what? Like, what am I talking about? It's one day. And we're
Oh.
just not programmed to think that. So I also tell people, they go, this is what I'm like, it's been 8 weeks. Like, this takes practice. This takes coming back and going, look, what did I do well? That's another thing women are not good at. I'll just,
Right.
we're not good at taking time for ourselves. We're not good at making ourselves priority. And we're not good at celebrating the things that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, man, how many awesome things it's like, I messed up this. It's like, great, but what did you do all day? So let's celebrate what you did really well. You actually made a plan. You drank your water. You moved your body. You like, don't hyper focus on the last 15 minutes of the night when you lost your mind and ate 3 Oreos. Like, who cares? It could have been the buffet at dinner plus 3 Oreos. So I think that we need to cut ourselves some slack. I think we need to celebrate the things that we do really, really well. And I think we need to habit stack it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that builds momentum. I think that builds self-belief. I think it builds like, oh my God, I am doing better. I am, like you said, making the smaller shifts, making those little changes that really add up and make a difference. And I think people think you have to be perfect forever. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Expect that as a human, but for some reason in the food world, they expect you to like, never want to eat crap again. And it's just like, you don't need to feel guilty and shameful. Can you do it every day? No. But it's like, there's a time and a place. And it's like, if there's times that you're seeing like, okay, this is a continuous thing, like this is becoming a problem because this is not aligning with my goals. I don't need 12 Twinkies every single night, right? Like that's when you go like, we need to find a different solution. And that's when you have to go like, where is this coming from? Right?
Right.
Like, am I sad? Am I stressed out? Am I like, what is food actually doing for you? And you just really need to dig a little bit and build some awareness, around that, and then plug in a solution that you can find that isn't some diet health food crap, right? That you eat, you go, this tastes like cardboard, because you're going to eat that and then you're going to go right back to eating whatever you wanted. Like, you actually, in today's world, I mean, you can scroll on Instagram for 5 seconds and find, 80 healthy, 4 ingredients or less, like things that literally taste like amazing chocolate or a brownie. Like, there's so many resources now. And, people are like, send me recipes. I'm like, I'm going to hook you up with my Pinterest board, like, I go, y'all, I can't be good at all things. Like, I'm not great in the kitchen. I copy other people that's what they do, right? Their ingredients align with like how I want to live my life and what I want to put in my body. And so anyway, so I love to help women build and create solutions. And when you find something that works, that's when you build your confidence. That's when you go, oh my God, this lifestyle thing actually works, right? Because you like and enjoy what you're doing. You feel fulfilled. You feel satisfied. You don't feel left out.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I could literally go on and on and on. You'll have to cut me off.
that's okay. It's because you're passionate. That's why you love what you do. And so that's normal. That's why I'm like, good for you. If you weren't saying anything, then I'd be a little concerned.
Well, good. Thank you. Okay. I love that. I love that.
I was going to share that back in my journey, like I was always eating out, eating out, eating out. And I don't know what they're putting inside there. I'm like, why don't I just start cooking for myself? So in 2020, when we had that pause, I
Right.
started learning how to cook. And I was like, oh, I didn't know I was a good cook because my husband is Indian and Indian recipes are very hard to do. Oh my goodness. So I was like getting these legumes, well, like all dolls, like lentils, and then soaking them. And I was just cooking all of these things that I've never had before. And I actually loved it. Like, it's called sambar, where you have vegetables and you put some sambar powder in there. You mix it with the dal, and it's like some lentil thing. It's so good. And
For you.
yeah, so and I found passion in just cooking. And so all of the eating out, we hardly eat out. If it is, it's like a treat. It's like, oh, we're eating out and we'll enjoy ourselves. We won't be like, oh, what can I not eat it? I'd be like, let's order that dessert. We'll share it. We don't have to eat, we'll share it. So it's not, sometimes it's kind of big. It's like, man, one person can eat this one. It's huge. But
Right.
we just make those little changes, and we just like to go outdoors as well. They'll do some hiking. I noticed last year we were doing way more hiking than this year. I don't know what's going on this year. I don't know. We need to go back out in the
You're
mountains
like,
because it's
wait,
right here.
hiking? I forgot we did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right. Yeah. And I'm just enjoying, like, I look at food differently. I look at it as like, oh, it's like nourishment. This is my
Yeah.
nourishment for the day. Like, I don't need it like at all. But I always
Right.
listen to my hunger cues as well. Like, am I even hungry? Am I like, I have to build awareness. If I'm watching something, is it because I'm hungry that I want to go to the kitchen, or is it because I'm bored?
That's
What's
right.
the reason? So I really
That's
pay
right.
attention to those now. Yeah.
That's so good though. It's a really good thing. And that's part of my program, is just building the self-awareness and building the triggers. Like, I had a lot of triggers with food.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that too, that comes from just the restriction and like always relying on willpower. And so, yeah, it's like once you build some of those, you go, oh my gosh. And once you really, tune into it's like the next time you do it, you're like, I don't even want that. And then it
Yeah.
really becomes like, oh my gosh, I'm going to find another way to cope. And I'm going to, and you really it starts becoming like with ease, it's flowing with ease. And you said, eating out, we eat out a good bit. And because I don't love to cook, I mean, I cook a lot, but like, a couple times a week, whatever. And so I do find that like a lot of moms and women and families that are on the go and a lot of sports and, it's just for convenience and like they're getting home late at night. So they
Yeah.
grab food on the way home. And I get that. I really do. And the one thing that I encourage them with, in the beginning, like we're texting, hey, I'm at Longhorn. What do and I really help them navigate the menu where they're going to love what they're eating, but, they want to stay really on track and they're not ready to like have eat dessert. They're not there yet. And it's amazing. They will be like, that was the best meal I've had there. And I had no idea I could eat that and still meet my goals,
Mhm.
or they didn't know they could go to Chick-fil-A and not have a fried chicken sandwich,
Right.
like there's sometimes you go and you're just like, well, this is what I order. Or I go to Taco Bell and I have burritos and they're like, what do you mean you can eat it? And I'm like, get a power bowl, double your meat, choose rice or beans, right? And they're like, what? So I love that even just in the first like 3 or 4 weeks, like they're going and we're navigating this stuff and they're like, why did I never think of that? It's like forever
Yeah.
changed. It's like just opening the door and getting creative and having someone else show you a different way. And I always tell them too, I go, hey, if it's not on the menu and you want something, just order it, like 2 grilled fillets or, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, they have the food. And so anyway, so it's really just blah, 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 but it's just that creativity and just a new approach outside of what you would normally, what your normal go-to is, when you fly up to drive through and you're like, I've got to eat this crap. And I'm like, doesn't always have to be the crap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So anyway,
Yeah. Creativity. Yeah. Just get creative. And like you said, the Pinterest boards, they're I love Pinterest, by the way. That's where I get a lot of my recipes from as well. I love
I
it.
mean, and it is, and it's like, for me, I make most of the time the same thing. Like I could eat the same food over and over and over, and then I'll switch it because I like what I eat, right? But I'm like, sometimes you're just like, okay, I need something different. Like, or how do I do a clean pork chop? Or how do I, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's just a great resource. I just teach people, I go, use your resources. Like literally at the touch of a button, you can, like, you don't have to know it all. Like
Hmm.
find the people that you love, what they believe and what they do and what they're good at, and then lean on them. Like that's what they're there for. And I share all the time. People are like, I can't believe you shared my stuff. I'm like, it's like the coolest, healthiest, like entertaining Christmas recipe. Do you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
it's not all about me. I'm not making that. I'm not creative in the food department. So I'm like, I want to pass along, I want to be a resource for other people, to help make it easy and convenient and it not be time consuming and slaving in the kitchen and food prepping every day. I mean,
Yeah.
people food prep, I think it's amazing, but I just go, I think if people think they have to do that and dedicate a
Right.
day or a weekend, like it's very overwhelming. And it's like, then what do you do if you haven't food prepped? Right?
Mm.
Like, do you know how to navigate the week? Do you know how to eat on the fly? Do you, what happens then? So those are, I mean, everybody's just so different. I
Right.
think like the health journey thing, it's not a one size fits all, right? I
Right.
mean, because a mom with a baby, a newborn, and a 2-year-old, she's not going to get up at 5 a.m. and go work out like I am, right? She's breastfeeding in the middle of the night.
Right.
She's
Tired
like,
as heck.
yeah, I mean, she's like nap time,
Yeah.
So that's her time. And so I go, if my plan was to eat this and wait, like she's going to resent that. She might do it for a little bit because she's accountable to me, but that's not something that's going to flow with her life that she's going to look forward to. And so I want to help these women find out how they like to move their body. What are they going to look forward to? Like,
Mhm.
what do you love to eat? Like, it can be healthy and you can love it all at the same time. And so
That's
it's
right.
really shifting the mindset that these two things, loving it and it's still being healthy, can coexist.
That's right.
So,
Now, when you coach, do you do it virtually or one-on-one in person, or how's that work?
yep. So, I guess you say virtually. I mean, we do, we don't know meet in person. We'll do a phone call like once a week. We do an hour-long call and, we do intake form and, we've already talked and answered questions and we go through once I get that form and then we get on the phone and we dive in, and we're looking at like goals and your vision and your habits and what are your triggers and where you want to go and just like a lot of background, and then it's like, what do you like to eat? Like, tell me what you're doing right now, and we walk through that process and I send them, I send them some of my food ideas, my snack ideas, because usually people are like, okay, I need some new stuff,
Mhm.
like what, so I'll give them ideas, but again, they get to use them if they want, and just incorporate them in their plan. And then we have a weekly, hour long call that we do. And there's a lot outside. This is my strength. I love it. I mean, if you can tell, I'm so passionate about it. So it's
Great.
really the first 4 weeks, especially, it's a lot of hand holding,
Mhm.
it's a lot of texting, not that they have to be, text me right back, but it's a lot of like, hey, like, where are you today? Like, how are you feeling? Like, there's usually something they struggle with more than other things. So if it's
Mhm.
dinner, I'm checking in before dinner. Like, what are we doing tonight? Or they're like, hey, I'm out to lunch with a client. And I'm like, hey, this is what I would get here. This is my favorite thing to do. See, like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of hand holding in the beginning. And I love it because what you see is about week 2, it starts really clicking, right? They're getting in their groove. They're knowing when they like to work out. They're getting the energy. They're getting their water in. They're feeling good. Like, I know what meals I like. I know what time I want to eat. Like, they're finding their groove. And so the start of the 3rd week, they start sending me, I love it. And it is textbook. It happens with every single one. By week 3, they're texting me pictures of like, look what I ordered. Look what I made. And they are becoming the leaders of their health at that point. And so
Right.
it's just so cool. And it's like, we do weigh-ins and measurements, you know what I mean? Like every couple weeks, and just to use them as a tool, right? Make sure we're going in the right direction. But it's the biggest things, the most rewarding things that these women are experiencing is just really the mindset shift away
Mhm.
from the diet to the lifestyle, letting go of letting food control their life, right? And like the scale. I mean, just I have some that are just like, normally weigh every day. And I'm like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We are not doing
Fluctuates all the time.
it. And they would be like going to the bathroom in the morning, like, and I'm like, don't do it, So, and now she's like, I don't even care if I get on the scale for 2, like, I don't
Right.
care. And
Yeah.
I'm like, God, that's such progress. You know what I mean? And so just to see the mindset shift, just to see how they're using these solutions and the tools, and maybe before when they would self-sabotage, and now they're becoming more aware of,
Mhm.
I had one, she went to the cabin to travel, and I love this because she takes her food with her, and she had this awesome sweet treat that she loves. And she went to have pizza, and they went on a hike, and she did her water, and we set up all the things. We're like, go enjoy the pizza. And so she went and ate the pizza. And then she came home and she said, I brought my healthy treat. And she said, I didn't eat it, ate my kid's fudge. And she said, you know what? It wasn't even good. I didn't like it. But she said, I felt like because I had eaten the pizza and I wasn't perfect, that I didn't deserve my healthy treat,
Mm.
that I needed to save it for a day when I had done all the right things.
Mm.
And I said, see, it was great to me. I want to do a backflip, because I'm like, God, the self-awareness
Yeah.
of what she's saying right here. And I said, because you'll do it different next time, right? And so we
Mhm.
talked through it. Like, you don't deserve a healthy treat because you were like that. You deserve that because it's better and that's what you wanted for your body, right? But you were
Mhm.
punishing yourself
Mhm.
because you felt like pizza was a bad choice. You felt like you made the wrong decision. Therefore, you don't deserve,
Mm.
to fuel your body properly, right? You're going to torture it. You're going to tear it down. You're going to make it feel like crap. And so then the next time she went to the cabin, she's like, I went to the pizza place and I came home and I ate my healthy. And I'm like, this is lifestyle. This takes practice, but
Yes.
it's the shift. And it's like now that she goes, that's so stupid. I'm not bad for eating pizza. I did a 5-mile hike. I did my water. I got to enjoy my family and enjoy that pizza time and then go finish it off with a healthy treat. Like that builds self-belief, that builds confidence. That's what builds lasting lifestyle. And so that's what's so cool to see, just to walk alongside these women and just watch them break through and tear down these barriers that they've been living by for the past
Mhm.
15, 20, 30 years. Um,
Right. Oh,
it's
that's
super
beautiful. I love what you do. Yes. Yeah, you're empowering them. Their confidence is, they're glowing, they're shining, they're just like, yes, Becca, thanks. And then
yeah,
they can help somebody else too. Yeah.
and I said, one of my clients today, she was like, I just want to tell you, I'll say it again. Thank you so much. And I said, I appreciate it. I'm so honored to walk out. Like, this is a personal journey. I mean, the things that they share with me and like, it's personal.
Mhm.
And I just said, I'm so honored. I appreciate it. But I'm like, Like, this was me getting you started. I'm
Mhm.
like, you are doing the hard stuff. You're the one getting up out of bed. You're the one making these choices. You're the one that's being consistent. Like, I can coach you all day long. If you don't put it into action and you're not the one doing it, you'd be right where you were, 3 months ago. And
Mhm.
so, really, just it's hard for them to even take that in, and they go, you know what? Yes. And so just to like speak that back into them, and just to really give them that credit and show them that love, and really just like honor them and what they're doing and the choices that they've decided to make, is it's pretty cool. So
That is pretty cool. Yes. And so for the listeners, where can they go ahead and find you if they want to work with you? I'm sure they're all pumped up and like, I'm ready. I want to change my mindset.
bring it on. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here for it. So you can find me on Instagram at herhealth.becca. And it's the same on TikTok, and it's the same on Facebook as well. And then herhealthbreakthrough.com is my email. And then I want to I have links to like my group coaching program and one-on-one ebook, just some different resources. I have a holiday guide that is actually amazing, because it's not just for Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's birthday parties, Valentine's Day, right? Like, you can use it vacations,
Right.
weekends away, that kind of stuff. Just to really, how do you go away? How do you get off track and out of your environment and go enjoy and come right back and get back to doing, what you were doing before you left? And so I have some of those things, but I have a discounted price exclusive to your audience. So I'm going to email those to you so you can kind of put them in there.
Yeah. I'll put them in the show notes for sure. That's awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah,
Yes. You
yeah,
hear
no.
that, listeners? Hop on it. Okay. That's so cool. And then last question for someone who's actually just starting on their journey for better health and fitness, what are some first steps you would recommend to them?
Yeah, first steps I would recommend is I would get a vision for your health and where you want to go.
Mhm.
And that could be, a number, that could be lose 10 pounds or whatever, but like, what do you want? Do you want to move your body 3 days a week? Like, how do you want to do it? How do you want to feel?
Mhm.
If you don't know where you're going, it's going to be really hard, or where you want to go, it's going to be really hard to get started. And then, I would just say, don't go from 0 to 100, right? Like, I'm going to be at the gym at 5 a.m. Monday through Sunday. I'm just like, give yourself smaller goals to work towards. Like, this week I haven't worked out in 6 months. So, this week I'm going to do Monday and Wednesday, or I'm going to do
Mhm.
2 days a week, or, give yourself like a way to start where you can actually be successful and not burn it out in the first week and go, I knew I couldn't do it, right? Like,
Mhm.
set yourself up for success. Maybe look, and I think, we do this accountability group, and this isn't about me. You can do accountability group without me, just with your whatever. But when you're getting started, I think it is so powerful to have a couple other people that are doing what you're doing. Whether it's, hey, you want to wake up at 5, let's text each other in the morning at 5 a.m., right? Or, you go to a group fitness class instead of just doing, a circuit or running by yourself, right? Because we always show up differently when
Mhm.
we're showing up for somebody else. And that's sad, right? I mean, that's sad. But we do. I mean, if you ever
True.
notice, you tell somebody you're going to meet them at 5 a.m., you can't even sleep. You're just like, you're worried you're going to be late. And then for us, we'll hit snooze every time.
Yeah, we won't even go.
That's right. So I would just say, get a vision of where you're going. I would say start small and just give yourself goals that you're going to be okay. Give yourself permission to kind of figure this thing out, as you go. And I would really work on the language. I would do no more starting over. I think it's the worst thing. If you're like, we're starting Monday, I'm like, we're not. We're starting Wednesday. We're starting Tuesday. Like, I just, because it really does affect like how your mind, you're just you're setting yourself up to fail. You're doing
Right.
all the hard stuff, and it's just, your mind is so powerful.
Yeah.
So I think that's how I would get started. And I think,
Awesome.
if you need help in the nutrition department, I think you know, lack of confidence in your plan to get you to your goal. And that's one of my things. That's one of the reasons people stay stuck, because they go, well, keto sounds good. Maybe I'll by Thursday, like they don't even know what that means. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, if you don't have confidence in what you're doing, you're not going to have the commitment level. You're not going to stick with it. So I would say, whatever you do choose to do, like I would know why you're doing it, and just be 100% bought in. Because if you're not 100% committed and you don't believe in your plan to get you to your goal, you're not going to have to follow through.
Right.
And so I would just say,
Yeah.
like, consistency is key. You know, if you want, and I will tell you this, I'll offer one of these is free. This is just on Instagram, but I do challenges. I do 30-day challenges. So we started with, what do we start? A plank challenge, 30-day plank challenge, 30-day walk challenge. We're in the middle. I think we're on day 17 of a squat challenge.
Oh, nice.
And are these going to totally physically change your? No. But why we do them is because it's 30 days of something that's consistent.
Right.
And it might take you a minute to a minute and a half a day. But if you can put together a super simple, small habit like that and build consistency, you can literally change anything you want to in your life. It's you said it, you opened the call with it. It's not these major people go hard for 2 or 3 weeks or a month and then they're done.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 30 minutes a day, the 20 minutes a day, that really, really consistently add up and build momentum and change your life over time.
Yeah, it
And
reminded me like some people would go to the gym and then work out so hard, like work out and then be so sore. They're like, oh, I don't want to work out anymore. And then they quit. So it
right,
happens. Yeah.
right. So it's
Little by
just like,
little.
when you're thinking this, you're thinking long term, you're thinking, what can I do 85, 90% of my days? Right.
Hmm.
And then it's
Yeah.
like, hey, when you stop wanting to do that, like you need to change it up. You need to change how you move. You need to change what you're eating. You need to, right? So you need to think about it, not for 30 days, not till vacation, not till summer. Like, what do you want? What do you want? Who do you want to be every day?
Hmm.
Right? Like, what example are you setting for your kids? Like, what? And you don't think that people are watching. You don't think this is important. I'm telling you. And the reason I know is because I do know it's important because it's changed my life, but I didn't realize how important it was to my kids. And
Hmm.
then it'll be like, I walk in one of my triplets rooms and she literally has a hit, like, workout, like, that she's made. You know what I'm saying? Like, 10
Cool.
exercises she's going to do it. I'm like, that's powerful.
Wow.
It's powerful. And it's just like, and my kids even said to me, Mom, you know what? Sometimes I see these really skinny girls. You're not really skinny. You're just really healthy. And I'm like, come on. I'm like, that's like the best compliment of my life.
Yes. And you feel
Like,
good. Like I'm sure you feel like you're in your 20s. Like I feel
I
better now
do.
than I did in my 20s for
Oh
sure.
my
And
God, I do too. People go, it's your age. I'm like, don't take me back to 22 ever. Like, I'm 42. I look better. I feel better. I have more energy. It's just so, that's a story we tell ourselves to, like, keep ourselves safe from really having to level up our life. But you have
right.
no idea when you start this transformation, who is watching you, who needs to be inspired, who you're giving them this hope of, like, oh my God, you can do it. Even
Yeah.
if it's just your kids, if you can't do it for you, I couldn't do it for me yet. If you can't do it for you, do it for somebody you love.
Hmm.
No kidding. Do it for somebody you love. Do it for somebody else until you love yourself enough to do it for yourself.
Right, right. Oh, I love that. Wow. Well, thank you so much for joining my show,
Yeah.
Becca. It's such an I feel motivated. I feel like I need to go do 20 jumping jacks right now. Just
Oh, yes.
yeah, it was a great
Oh God, listen,
conversation.
I have to be in a tank top when I do these things. I had on sleeves and I'm like, I get so fired up and so passionate. I, like, just start sweating. I'm like,
Yeah.
so
Forget your
anyway,
workout. Just talk.
I
Just inspire
know. I'm
somebody.
like,
Like, yeah. I know
I
sometimes like
really,
that's good
it
though.
is
Yeah.
so near and dear to my heart. And, like, I just tell people, I go, hey, beware. If you don't like energy, I'm probably not going to be your gal, right? Like, this is genuinely how I feel about my clients and their goals, and just getting them to where they really want to be, and
Right.
freedom in their body and food. And I feel like I know it's just so important. It really is a game changer.
No. Oh, well, thank you so much, Becca. I appreciate you and keep on doing
Thank
what
you
you're
for
doing.
having me. You're
Of course.
amazing. Great questions, like great energy. I really loved it. Thank you so much. It's such an honor.
Thank you.